Today on Suncoast View, good news, the Suncoast may have survived Hurricane Irma, but experts say there's still much left to do for our safety. We'll discuss.
Do you have what it takes to be a home-flipping TV star? Well, we'll chat with the host of the new show, Buyer's Boot Camp, and learn how he does it.
And Florida Studio Theater celebrates the sounds of the 50s and 60s in an original show, and we get a preview. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show. Stephanie and Linda Carson are off, but a big welcome back to Sheba Mateo.
Thank you.
2 days in a row. We're happy to see you.
I love being here with you in the morning. It's hilarious.
And it's right back at you. And a big welcome back to one of our favorite couples on the Suncoast, ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi and one of our funny ladies, Linda Larson.
Grazie.
Grazie.
There you go. Welcome back.
Thanks.
It's
Good
always
to be
nice
here.
to see you too. I feel like the only way we get to see you is to bring you to the table
This
here.
is the only way we get to see each other.
Some days that's true.
Well, in that case, you're welcome. But when we don't get to see you for long stretches of time, we will go on your Facebook page and stalk you a little bit. And I noticed that, John, in your spare time, which I don't know where you find it, you have gotten into a little home gardening. Tell us about this.
Well, yeah, that is me planting seeds. I planted a bunch of tomato seeds and other vegetables and such, and that particular shot was the tomato seeds, I believe, a lot of heirloom tomato seeds, and then we throw them into some earth boxes and are growing them out on the patio, doing a pretty good job there. I went out to the, I didn't realize until I saw it on your show, actually, that the earth box was invented right here in Bradenton.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes, indeed.
It was on your
It
show.
was on your show,
The
actually.
things we forget. How are they doing now? Are they
They're
still
doing great.
planning?
You can actually go out there. The classes are twice a week, and you can take the classes for free and learn a little bit about their earth box method. And I'm also doing some raised earth gardening as well. Hope to this time. It's good. It's relaxing. It's therapeutic. It's fun.
Yes, that's what he says. Well,
And
see
your
it from
opinion
my
would
point
be
of view.
exactly.
Yeah.
Linda, tell us,
There
give us
was
the
a
inside.
year that he went, tomatoes, I'm going to grow tomatoes.
Yes.
He took our entire side yard.
Yes.
He planted 9,000 varieties of tomatoes. They
Close.
all came ripe at the exact
Same day.
time, the same day. And we're like, help, tomatoes. We're giving them.
I could have kept Mama Leone's in business for a year.
Yes, start a canning business in that extra minute that you might have.
You never saw
Who
so
knew?
many tomatoes in
See,
your life.
that's why we make sure Linda's
good
here.
tomato
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
That was a
Keep
good
things
tomato
right.
year.
Keep things
I'm
real.
envisioning a he said, she said segment in the future. I'm all about
You
it.
have to. It is
John,
hilarious.
you're incorrect.
I'll
Again.
take you out of the hot seat for a
Again.
second because we're going to welcome back one of our favorite faces in the kitchen, Nicole from My Delicious Blog. Welcome.
Hi.
What are we making today?
Today we're making a very delicious and easy leek and potato soup. This week has been pretty chilly, so I've been making soup just about every day, and this is one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
It's fun to make, it's delicious, and I think you like it.
A perfect timing too, because we are having a little cold snap, or a cold snap under 60.
Yes,
So
blistering here.
we go for the soup and we go for the jackets and sweaters.
Why did I think Irish? Is that an Irish dish because we're heading towards the Ides of
Patty's
March?
Day?
I guess I think it is.
There's
With
a
the-
nod. There's a nod
There's
to
a
the
nod to
Irish
Irish?
in there.
Oh, okay, good.
Good call.
Definitely.
That is
Yes.
very good.
Perfect timing this week as well with St. Patty's Day coming up. All right, well, we can't wait to join Nicole later on in the show, but it is time for our first hot topic. And while the Suncoast may have been commended for its Hurricane Irma response, there's plenty of progress still to be made. The former FEMA administrator gave Sarasota County his Hurricane Irma after action report. It's kind of like a little report card on how we did, suggesting that we were well prepared, but we need better communication to the public, including simpler evacuation zones and making all of the shelters pet friendly. All of these would make the public more likely to go to a shelter, they say, rather than choose to weather the storm at home. So what do we, John, good timing with you here, of course, but, it was nice to hear that we got overall good, but there are always ways to improve. What do you think about simplifying the evacuation zones?
I think it's always a great idea. They did some wonderful things with the stop signs in Charlotte County by color coding the path to particular shelters and letting you know exactly what evacuation zone you are in by color coding the signs in your neighborhood. So I think that's a good idea.
That's
we perhaps
great.
might adopt that. As far as making every shelter a pet shelter, that would be the ideal. I also am of the opinion that, you know, as good as the government can become in protecting individuals, individuals need to learn to protect themselves too. And I think a lot of people discovered that when push came to shove, they didn't really have a plan of action, personal plan of action in place and ready to go. And you know, it's a good thing for us all to do. Plus, one of the things that I think we do need that wasn't really addressed, I don't think, in this report, I haven't read it yet, but I haven't heard about it in the news, is that we need some tide gauges on the lower Myakka River where it goes through Northport, because we don't have a good way of monitoring that river area down there and where all the little tributaries. And if we had that, if we did have that working gauges down there, we could put that information into some of the computer models that do river forecasts, and it would give better idea for the flooding situation in that area that floods frequently down there.
Absolutely.
That's
I
a
know
great
we've
idea.
talked on this show before, and Linda Carson has said this as well. When we ran the phone bank here at ABC7 during the storm, we received a lot of questions about, I'm not sure where to go. I'm not sure if my pet can come with me. I have someone in my family with special needs. I don't know which shelter. So I'm not faulting anyone, because I would have been in this exact same boat of not being prepared. But it did seem like a lot of people didn't take it seriously.
That's right.
And so they didn't make plans ahead of time. Is
You
this
know,
going to change?
I think the problem is that when you call for evacuations, we know that there is going to be a 1 in 4 chance, even more, that the evacuation would not be necessary. The storm is going to miss us and not create any damage. So I think people do get complacent. It's a very easy thing to do. And that's when the danger starts to creep in. And governments can do a whole lot to protect the citizenry, and the citizens have to be involved in that process.
Yes, that was a scary time for me. It was my first hurricane warning, and I don't know if you remember. I like, it's all a blur at this point. Like, I can't remember a thing. I can't. Like, it was very stressful for me.
So this makes me think, right now would be a really great time to go get your plan in and put it up where you can see it, have it available for your whole family. I mean, right now, we wouldn't talk about that necessarily.
No.
We just wait again until
We're
it
on
happens.
vacation
mode.
Let's do it now.
Might I mention that you can go to mysuncoast.com,
Yes, take it away, John.
click on the weather section. There's a hurricane link there that'll give you very detailed instructions on how to put a hurricane plan together. And if you have special needs, you should be registering with your county right now and get that done.
Pet vaccines.
That's great.
I know that was a very
get
important
that done.
thing.
Exactly right.
Because they
Get-
won't let you
Flying.
into the shelter if your pet hasn't been vaccinated. That is an excellent point, Linda, that it is not too soon, because it'll be here before we know
Yep.
it. And there are plenty of preparations we can do
Yep.
ahead of time. Well, since Linda, you are our big traveler, you know, Linda travels for her job as a motivational speaker, we figured it was a great time to look at some travel plans, especially with spring travel. Well, Travel and Leisure magazine published a checklist of important things to do before you leave for a trip, and I want Linda's feedback here. So one of the things they say to do is call your credit card company to let them know that you'll be traveling. They mention the same thing for your cell phone company and your home security provider.
That's good to know. Well, here's the thing. I actually have run into problems not calling my credit card company when I've gone to Europe. And I don't know this to be true, but because I travel so much, I now never have a problem in the States. But they did say to me, it was American Express, they did say that if I was going to go overseas, I should call and let them know. But maybe they just look at my pattern and go, well, she travels everywhere, we know she's safe. I've never had a decline.
It does seem like banks are getting better at finding, okay, you typically travel. I try to pull money out of a Tampa ATM. I never pull money out, and I typically not in Tampa, and they would not allow me, and they blocked my card. So great.
Yeah, I get that too. And do you know there are some cell phone apps from some of the credit card companies that will geolocate you, so that if you are not where your credit card says you should be, it'll raise a flag.
Yeah, so great. And also to call your phone company, because nobody wants a roaming charge. It also says confirm all of your travel reservations, from flights to hotels, car rentals, because no one wants a surprise while you're standing at the check-in counter.
This I do. I do this. I am maniacal about this because I just am going to assume someone's going to mess up. And then I'm not worried about it, and I don't get upset about it because I know someone will. So I'm going to cover every single check, double check, and I've not, well, I probably have had an issue still on top of that, but much less than I would have. So yeah, call ahead.
So when you walk up to the counter, you're extremely confident. You walk up like, I already did what I needed to do.
Yes. And I have another thing. When
She's
you
a great
make
travel
when
buddy.
you make your rental car reservation and your hotel reservation, your flight reservation, print out every single one of those pieces of paper and carry them with you. And then when you're standing at the counter, you can say, "Well, here's my confirmation."
That's right. That's
so you have that right there.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything when we go traveling.
Oh, yes, I know. I'm coming with you.
Sit back.
It mentions, too, to clean out your fridge of perishables and your wallet of any unnecessary items. There's no reason to bring things you won't be needing from your wallet, and certainly no one wants to come home to expired food in the fridge. It says to share your itinerary with a friend or a family member, and this one's probably a little easier for you, Linda. Check the weather updates. Luckily, you have someone in your household.
You're like,
who can
hey,
give
honey,
you.
listen, this is where I'm going today.
Where am I going in that way? That's very true. And I will tell you this. When you travel a lot, you don't want any extra added weight. And so my regular purse gets slimmed down to this tiny little thing I take with all my ID in it. If there's a credit card I don't need, I take it out. I don't want that extra 0.000 gram of weight.
Right.
Sure.
So yeah, streamline that, and I don't ever have to worry about the refrigerator.
Not sure I know what that meant.
All right, well, Linda, I'll get you out of that hot seat now. We're moving people out of hot seats this whole time.
Exactly.
Well, it is time to say goodbye to a childhood staple because Toys R Us is closing its doors. After months of refocusing and questions from consumers, the toy giant announced on Wednesday that it was the end of the road and that all of their U.S. stores would be closing up. Why do you think such a big industry is losing steam?
Online sales?
That's right.
I think so too. I think that's one of the issues.
I think it
Price
started
shopping?
before that. I think
Yeah.
it started with video games.
Yes. A lot of things moving to technology.
When I grew up, and maybe this is true of other folks here at this table, that there were so many different varieties and flavors of toys and games. I mean, it ranged from, air blasters to model cars to all kinds of things. And now it seems like the main focus is all on the Xbox and other things.
And it's funny you say that, but I would also say busy schedules. Like the children now have more access. At least when I was growing up, I wasn't taking like piano and tennis and golf and Spanish. But my daughter is fairly busy. So the only time we get a chance to really play is on a Saturday and Sunday. So that's why we try to stay local or stay home at least. But even then, we have friends over, hopping in the pool. So I'd say the lifestyle has changed a lot. More access to that kind of gig economy that we were talking about.
Yes.
More access to instructors. Just
It's a sad thing though, because I think the one store that there was for the kids, was Toys R Us. They always looked forward to going there.
But there's Walmart.
and there's Learning Express.
It's not the same.
And
It's not
Target.
aisle after aisle.
Learning Express.
It was like even a trip to the Toys R Us or the toy store was plenty for us.
Is FAO Schwartz still in New York?
I hope so. Someone call them because I'm afraid. I know that this is going to affect a lot of the bigger toy companies just because Toys R Us is such a distributor, but also it's more the middle level toy distributors. The independent toy makers are going to, this will be a challenge for them.
And there still are some fabulous locally owned and operated toy stores that have stuff you won't find anywhere else that need to be supported. But that one land of Oz for the kids is kind of gone.
We go to Learning Express every now and then, and that's in Lakewood Ranch, and that's nice because Learning Express still has those fun toys, the plush pillows and all those and things that you can choose right before a birthday party and you're running late and they'll even wrap it for you.
Yes, and the Toy Lab on Main Street in Sarasota, I know there's also some great toy stores in South County. Well, we're a little sad for that.
Yes.
But if you think that your workout is tough, it's probably nothing compared to the now 71-year-old Sylvester Stallone. He showed us all up on Instagram doing pull-ups with a 100-pound weight hanging around his waist. Yes, Sly Stallone. After being rumored, unfortunately, to be dead many times over, poor Sly suffered these fake rumors that he had passed away online. He now must think that there's something to prove, and I would say that he proves it.
Wow.
71 years old, look at him, and he's cranking out those pull-ups with a 100-pound weight.
I see it. I see it here in Sarasota, especially coming from New York and growing up in Virginia, and seeing the athleticism from so many people, so many individuals on a daily basis. I'm shocked that's 100-pound weights, but at the same time, that's hopeful because as long as we're active and using our muscles, I mean, they still develop. They still have what it takes.
And I think flexibility is a big part of this too. I love the weight aspect of it, but I think for older people, not that we're older, but if we were older, it would be flexibility would be such a key.
Yoga.
And we are
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He said that you're young as long as your joints are working.
Absolutely. So stretching, yoga, all these things are important. And I'm probably too. He has the incentive that he's prepping for a film. He's going to be in Creed 2, which I think comes out later this year.
Cool.
Well, it is time to check in with our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, we have a special musical treat from Florida Studio Theater's Blue Suede Shoes.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at a nice afternoon. It is, too. Lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures still running a little bit below average, but beautiful conditions. Winds have calmed down. Clear skies out there. This is your first alert weather update on this happy hour. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing no clouds around. Really just fair skies. A big area of high pressure sliding over the state right now. As it gets to the east of us, it's going to warm us up, too. We're going to start to see temperatures back in the 70s. Tomorrow afternoon. Right now, 67 at Dew Point, remaining extremely low at 37. So what that means tonight, another chilly night ahead. Low temperatures into the 40s. Once again, west winds are at 14, the pressure 30-12. That's way up there. That continues to rise right now. Temperatures across the state, warmest reading in Miami at 74, 67 here, 68 in Jacksonville. And as far as the temperature forecast goes tonight, I mentioned dropping down in the 40s once again across parts of West Central Florida. Will be at 55 at midnight, and then temperatures much lower to start things off. More at 5.
Florida Studio Theater is celebrating the rocking sounds of the 50s and 60s in their original cabaret Blue Suede Shoes. And director Catherine Randazzo and the cast joined us back in January when the show first opened, and now they're back with some good news. Here, the show's been extended. Catherine, by the way, good to see you. We haven't seen each other in years, but we first met.
Don't tell anybody how many years it's been, John.
They were 3.
3 years ago when
Yes.
you were 12. It was,
Yes, that's right. That's right. Very good.
So the show has been extended, right?
It has been. This is our 3rd extension.
Wow.
And the popularity of the show is because the audience members that are hearing this music are reliving their childhood.
Yes. Oh, it's great music.
Yes.
Great music. And you know, when you hear the title Blue Suede Shoes, you think of King Elvis,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it's more than that.
Oh, it's much more than that. Because we talk about the things that influenced Elvis into his career, as well as all the artists that were influenced after they heard what the King was, doing as far as music. So you've got, in fact, today you're going to hear a song by Wilson Pickett. And, there are a couple of artists in there that maybe were one-hit wonders, but the influence of bluegrass and rhythm and blues and even a little bit of country. I mean, in the show, we have a wonderful little Gene Autry segment that usually surprises people because they can't imagine hearing Fats Domino sing something that Gene Autry did.
You wouldn't have put them in the same sentence.
Right?
Right, yeah.
Well, in that
So-
era, too, a lot of people were influencing each other, weren't they?
Right.
So while there's still plenty of music from Elvis, you can't do just Elvis music because he did it from someone else.
That's
Someone else
right.
did his version.
That's right.
Exactly.
Plus, I think there was a lot, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of African-American music that never hit the airwaves until Elvis brought it out, and then all of a sudden he opened doors. And
Well, and that's the beauty of what happens in our story, because you get a piece of that musical history told through the racial tension that was happening at that time and why certain artists were not heard on the radio.
Interesting.
And that was very interesting. I took my daughter to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she was blown away by a long, display that they had with Elvis and the songs, and then she was able at 7 to see the connection and hear the influences. So it's it's music moves us all.
It does.
There's no real
And it's
division.
really more than just music, it is American history.
That's right.
And in fact, you kind of incorporate the history of the music into the shows, and that's become kind of a theme at FST.
Yes, it's actually been a great way to throw back songs that you never even think about having a connection, and how artists were so great at putting a message through their music.
Yes.
But yet the music was so popular that people weren't really thinking about the meaning behind the song. So in these cabarets, you get a chance to really find out what they were talking about
That's
and
wonderful.
how it reflected what was happening to them.
So an interesting history lesson, but also the great entertainment. Speaking of great entertainment, you brought us a performance. Set up what we're about to hear.
Oh, this is Midnight Hour, Wilson Pickett. A great song done with a rendition by this group who's very talented at figuring out the new way to make the old sound like the new sound.
Right.
So.
All right, well, take it away.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, baby, when there's no one else around. I'm gonna take you, girl, and hold you, and do all the things I told you in the midnight hour, baby. Yeah, in the midnight hour. I'm gonna wait till the stars come out and see them twinkle in your eyes. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. You're the only girl I know who can really love me so. In the midnight hour, ooh yeah, in the midnight. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. Just you and I.
Oh, baby, just you and I.
Nobody around, baby, just you
I'm
and
gonna
I.
hold you in my arms.
You and I, you
When
and
there's
I, you
no
and
one
I.
else around.
Baby,
In the midnight hour. Baby, in the midnight hour.
Oh, yeah. Blue suede shoes at the Florida Studio Theater now through April 22nd. Go on that website at FST's website and get your tickets. That's going to be one wonderful, juicy show. Sounds great. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute with new home renovation show, and you'll meet the star that features Suncoast Homes.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some of the best are music to your ears, like the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. Or head over to Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios. Are you a star yet?
My mama thinks so.
Or, if that's your stomach I hear grumbling, our barbecue is almost a religious experience. Food good here? Best in the country. Alabama's got 100 road trips.
Which one you gonna take?
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Well, we're sad to report the loss of a Suncoast community leader and a longtime member of the ABC7 family. Dr. Ed James passed away earlier this week. He hosted the ABC 7 show Black Almanac for over 45 years. And as our own Dwayne Lindo shows us, he did a lot more than that in the community.
Dr. Edward James dedicated his life to journalism, fighting for equal rights and being a voice for the voiceless. He was part of a family that had a storied history of civil rights activism and spent decades serving as a leader of the African American community. Both personally and professionally, Dr. James helped make the Suncoast a better place. Dr. James had an extensive background in government and public relations. His career included jobs as a columnist and government reporter, as well as a public information officer and deputy chief investigator for the state attorney's office for the 12th Judicial Circuit of Florida. Dr. James joined the ABC 7 family back in 1972 as a weekend news anchor. That year, he also started producing and hosting the show Black Almanac.
Good morning. I'm Ed James, and this is Black Almanac.
It is now the longest airing locally produced public affairs program in the southeastern United States. Over the years, Black Almanac helped shed a light on concerns of the African American community, specifically Newtown. Dr. James fought for justice for a mother whose son was killed in an officer-involved shooting. He also invited law enforcement officials, local and state government leaders on the show regularly to get answers on what they were doing for the people in our communities. In 2017, Black Almanac celebrated its 45th anniversary. But it was the work Dr. James did outside the show that also made a lasting difference. Dr. James helped with the desegregation of the Sarasota County Public Library. He also served as a mentor for both adults and young people.
It was Ed James, that impacted my life.
Including the principal of Booker High School, Dr. Rachel Shelley, by helping her graduate college. Dr. James also helped facilitate improvements in the Newtown community, including a new dugout at the Newtown Estates baseball field, so players would be protected from bad weather. That dugout is now dedicated in honor of Dr. James. Dr. James also spent decades working with nonprofit groups, including the NAACP, Coalition of African American Leadership, North Sarasota County Civic League, and many more. Dr. James was honored with a Lifetime Service Award and a Freedom Award by the Sarasota County NAACP. He was also given the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Sarasota African American Chamber of Commerce. Dr. James is survived by his wife Helen and 3 children. He was 78 years old.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're in the kitchen with Nicole from My Delicious Blog today. And Nicole, I know later we're going to be making potato leek soup, but I know nothing about cooking with leeks. So do you have any tips for us?
Sure. Well, this is a great time of the year to pick up some leeks because it's a spring vegetable. These guys are in the allium family, so they're an onion actually.
Oh.
But it's a very mild tasting onion. The key with leeks is you have to wash them extremely well because they really retain a lot of their sandy soil. So once you trim off the really dark parts, you know, slice them in half, wash them really good in cold water, sometimes just let it sit in water, and you're good to go. They're great in soups and stir fries and quiches.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a mild onion flavor.
All the things we'll learn. Well, we can't wait to join you later on to put it into soup.
Yay.
So we'll see you a little later on
Great.
in the show. Well, if you are a fan of the home renovation TV shows, you know that flipping a home is hard work. But our next guest makes it look easy and fun. Scott McIlvery is the star of the new DIY network show Buyers Boot Camp, and he's even putting some local homes in the spotlight. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks for having me here this morning.
So Buyers Boot Camp, this sounds like something that I think all of us need. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Well, this is a bit of a spin on what I've been doing on HGTV and DIY Network for the last few years. You know, real estate investing, renovations, and this time around, I'm partnering up with real estate investors really all across the country, and we've got 3 episodes that are being filmed in the area right now here, and it's because we had investors reaching out. They said they had great properties. I came to see them. I liked them. And, you know, they brought the property to the table, so I bring the financing, I bring the renovation team, I bring the design, and we execute these flips together, and then we try to make a profit together. So it's kind of crazy, but in reality, this is what I do. I invest in real estate, and I have JV partners in all different markets, and why not do it right here where my family calls this area our home as well? So
That's great. And you know, I know it's one thing to do it all over the country, but what is it like to work specifically on the Suncoast?
I can tell you right now,
Fabulous.
not having snow to contend with is amazing. I mean, we were shooting in Buffalo in the fall, and it was just like a race against the clock. We were like, when are we going to get buried in 2 feet of snow? So, you know, having the whole team here and being able to work, you know, December, January, February, March, and not have to worry about the weather. We've basically had a sunny day every single day on set.
Oh.
It is such a wonderful thing.
Sarasota.
And 2 of the homes are actually in kind of near John and Linda in my neighborhood, one on Weber and one on Wisteria.
That's right.
So, you know, we've kind of been dealing with the aftermath of the hurricane.
Yes.
Have you encountered any issues when you were trying to renovate homes?
Well, I mean, I've done renovations in Florida before, and especially on the Suncoast in Southwest Florida. And there are unique challenges. Some of the permitting process takes longer, but definitely, you know, we were planning on being here in late fall. And then there was Hurricane Irma, and there was a big discussion, even with the network, like, do we shoot in Florida? Because this is such a huge bogey that we have to contend with. And I was completely dead set on continuing with our plan. So we delayed it a little bit. We came down, things took a little longer, but you know what? It's been such an amazing experience to find local talent in the design and the construction space who have been able to help us, even though they've been super busy trying to, you know, repair lanais, and everybody's busy fixing a roof and putting up a fence and building gates and all these things. You know, we've managed to make it happen. We managed to find some great opportunities. And we've got one property we just put up on the market, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for somebody. And we got one more coming up next week. We're going to put it on the market, and we put a lot of energy into these properties, and they're going to be featured on the show.
How great! I know we're very excited to see our own homes here on the show. Now, all right, I don't think, with the exception of John, who's kind of our resident handyman, I don't think any of the rest of us are considering getting into renovations and flipping. But if any of our viewers did, you have some tips. So where's the first place to start?
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people are interested in the opportunity to possibly make money in real estate. And if you're willing to add the value to the properties, it's a very lucrative business. And I tell most people, start within a 5-mile radius of your own home to be realistic. Some of the best opportunities are right under your nose. It's just that most people don't know how to identify them. And I mean, I got to Sarasota to film the show, and within, I'd say, 2 hours, I bought into my first deal. So bought into my first deal within 2 hours of looking in Sarasota. So you can't tell me that there aren't deals to be had, for sure.
I would agree with that.
Now, if you were looking for, like, let's say if I found a home that was up for sale that was already renovated, I would think, oh great, that most of my job is done for me. Is that a good tactic?
Not necessarily. I mean, I do a lot of buy and hold, which is rental properties, and I do a lot of flipping as well. So if I'm gonna flip a home, which is one of the fastest ways to make money in real estate, I'm looking for something that has signs that it's distressed. Maybe the landscaping is a little unmaintained. Maybe some of the roof tiles are missing. We look for properties that clearly have the opportunity to have value added to them. And especially when we get inside, if they're vacant, damaged, we're looking to buy them properly, to be honest, and that's really what I'm working with partners for. I'm looking for people who are out there kind of looking for these properties, can secure them for a great price so that we've got room on the front end of the deal to make a lot of money on the back end of the deal. I can finance everything else. That's the beauty of the show. Is I come in, I can pay for the renovation. It's kind of like Shark Tank meets HGTV, right? That's what this show is.
That's great.
People are pitching me the deals, and if there's an opportunity,
I'm like,
I'll partner with them. Do you have a property for me?
Let me think about it. I'm sure I can find something.
Good.
When you look at a house, is there one thing that says to you, oh, I'm not touching this one? I mean, is it a roof? Is it a foundation?
Not necessarily. In this area specifically, we've had some mold, some serious mold issues and termite damage. I mean, like, the termites are just relentless. Can't get away from them. So I'm careful on some of the major structural problems that come up. But realistically, this market has been very lucrative. It has been fairly straightforward, and some of our best episodes of the season are going to be right here in Sarasota.
Oh, that's always great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, you can find Buyers Boot Camp on the DIY Network. It's on Saturdays at 10 p.m. You can find more information about the show, plus some of Scott's home renovation tips by visiting his website, scottmcgilvery.com. Coming up next, we have ideas for what's fun for Suncoast families this spring break.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. A Sarasota man facing federal charges after deputies found more than 2 tons of explosives at his home, while his brother is now speaking out. And 2 airmen are dead after a Navy fighter jet goes down in Key West. What crews are doing to determine what led to that fatal accident. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. A beautiful day this afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there, and temperatures did top out into the upper 60s. Will be a little bit warmer tomorrow as we are anticipating less of a north wind. Right now we have 67 degrees. Lots of sunshine out there, and the dew point temperature is at 37. That's low. That makes that humidity extremely dry out there at 33%. Winds out of the west at 14, keeping things a bit cooler right near the coast. Inland areas still a bit warmer as a result of that west wind. Right now 67 degrees in Sarasota. More at 5.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
When my youngest Addie was 2.5. She was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
It's March on the Suncoast. Spring breakers of all ages are making their way to our sunny beaches, and our visiting relatives from the north and beyond are arriving in droves. And we know there's many things to do with our guests, but planning an itinerary can be a challenge. Well, Erin Duggan from Visit Sarasota County is here with some great ideas for our house guests. Erin, it feels to me like tourism is up. Is that true, or is it just me?
I hope so. You know, I've been in Sarasota for a long time, and I look at all of this fabulous new growth, all of the great new hotels that are opening up throughout the entire county. More hotel rooms need more bodies.
Yes.
So we are going to have a good positive season.
Well, I know it took me about 20 minutes to get from my house to St. Armand, so I felt like it was that.
That's pretty much how we can tell, yeah, the traffic.
But you've got some really great ideas for our guests, so tell us a little bit about them.
There are so many fun things to do in Sarasota County on any given day. We've got a great events calendar on our website at visitsarasota.com. So I'm going to talk about some of the fun things that I think people might not know about, whether you're a local or a visitor coming to the area. So first things first, Friday night, if you're looking for something to do, go to Payne Park. I think a lot of people don't realize that that beautiful cafe in the park there is open on Friday nights. They've got free music playing. You can grab a bite. You can grab a drink. The circus playground is right there. Your kids can play, or if you've got friends and family just wanting to see a pretty cool playground, that would be a fun thing to do.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
so right. I didn't know that.
I've lived here a long time, and I did not know that.
Yeah, you know, it's something I think that they've not been doing for a really long time, but it's definitely got quite a crowd that comes on Friday nights, and it's a really fun thing to do.
And it's a beautiful park, and when your visitors are here, they usually want to be outside, so that's a great thing.
Perfect. That's nice. And then there's something about Dakin Dairy. What's that?
You know, I think spring, I think farms and food and animals. And Dakin Dairy is one of those attractions too that you can go out there and you can take a tour. They've got pricing from $5 to $15 depending if you want to take the hay ride or if you want to go through the corn maze. But if you want to see how milk is made from mama cow to how it's processed, this is a great way to do it. And of course you get to sample the milk. You can choose from the plain milk or the delicious chocolate milk. But they've got animals out there. You can feed a baby cow. You can bottle feed a baby cow. I heard your husband talking about the ice cream.
Oh, it's awesome place. It's so much fun. And I think it's good too because I think a lot of kids will never get to experience that farm environment. And I think it's good for them to do that.
And it's safe too. Well, you know, every time we go, the kids just run and they love the corn area, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, so far, I'm thinking, heck with my guests.
I know.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I did not know about these things. And then Sarasota Honey Company, what's that?
So since we're talking about farms, let's just keep talking about agriculture. I think that is another fun thing. It's not far from University Park and 301, but Sarasota Honey Farms offers free tours, and it's a great place to go and learn about bees, how they make honey. Of course, you can taste honey, you can buy honey, but I think that this is something else that a lot of people have a lot of fun when they go out there, and it's something a little unexpected when you're in the area that you can go and do.
That's right. I did not know that.
Yeah, see?
We're all on that right now.
And they can take things home. That's a great place too. You take home a little Sarasota souvenir with a jar of honey.
And sweet.
Oh, I love
Lots of
that.
sugar.
Well, speaking of sugar, sweet, well, not sugar, but sweet, Fruitville Grove has a berry festival?
You know, I think a lot of people think of them and they think of the Pumpkin Festival, right? So let's just go ahead and convert that to spring and let's celebrate all things berry, right? So it's a very similar festival in that you've got craft booths, you've got a rock wall, you've got bouncy stations, you can get face painting, but of course then they're also selling all things berry. So we're going to keep on talking about ice cream. They've got ice cream cones, they've got strawberry shortcake. They're going to be doing an Easter egg hunt this weekend. But it's also a great place to look at the baby animals and get in the celebratory mode for spring.
Yes.
Boy, I got a list growing now. And Skieries, that one I know and love. Talk about Skieries.
You know, I think a lot of people are surprised that you can go out there and watch a free show on Sundays at 2 o'clock. Go out to City Island and you'll see quite a show. I was really impressed in January. This local Skieries group won a national honor as the best ski association team in the United States of America. Wow. And so I think for us as locals and of course visitors that are here that you can go and see this great show on Sundays. I love the costumes. I love the music. And
this is a great list because I know when our visitors come, they know about Moat, and that's already on their list, and Ringling Museum, and Selby. So these are some of the lesser known treasures. This is great.
Oh my gosh. And Kids Comedy Lab, what is that?
Well, Florida Studio Theater, I thought it was, of course, fantastic that they are on your show today as well. But I think a lot of times people forget that they've got a lot of things going on over there. With multiple stages, and so they do have a lot of opportunities for our children, whether it's during spring or summer.
Oh, this is so great, Erin. Thank you so much. You can find out more great spring break ideas at Visit Sarasota County's website, visitsarasota.com. And next, we've got ways you can celebrate St. Patty's Day on the Suncoast.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I used to dread getting up and going to work.
I was done with the corporate grind.
I was tired of being a starving artist.
And I started looking around for a business that I believed in, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green.
My SCORE mentor helped me take the first step.
He helped me create a business plan and helped me implement it.
They've really taught me how to think big.
SCORE helped me to make the unimaginable possible, all for free. I'm here because of SCORE.
I'm here because of SCORE.
Get your free business mentor at SCORE.org.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams. protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Well, it is the season for St. Patty's Day parties, so we want to let you know a few options around the Suncoast if you wanted to get your green on this weekend. So the first one is at the Shamrock Pub. This is their 10th year. It is an all-day block party. I believe it starts at 9 a.m. and continues into the wee hours of the morning. There's live music, of course, great craft beer at the Shamrock Pub. There's even a limerick contest run by the Herald Tribune. Yours truly will be the MC, and you'll be able to hear the finalists of the limericks and see who wins. Okay. Also around the Suncoast, I know Clancy's Irish Pub in Bradenton has a full day of events, and Molly Malone's in Gulfgate is also planning their own block party. There are tons of events to do this weekend. You'll want to check out mysuncoast.com for the full list. And we're going to check out what's going on in the kitchen. We'll join Nicole Kudell from My Delicious Blog. We're making potato leek soup.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
The 2018 Sarasota County Fair is set to begin March 16th through 25th. This year, there'll be rides for everyone, thanks to Bell City Amusements. Experience your favorite entertainers, along with some new and exciting acts, like the Tiger Encounter, the Kachunga and Alligator Show, comedian ventriloquist Steve Brogan, plus our new and exciting SRQ Schools at its best. And remember, ride armbands all day, every day. The 2018 Sarasota County Fair, March 16th through 25th. See you there.
This is an ABC7 News Update.
Hi, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. A move to expand Sarasota County's Legacy Trail going to a vote in November. What this could mean for taxpayers and for all the bikers and walkers that regularly use that trail. In first alert traffic right now, we're seeing some congestion on I-75, both north and southbound, but especially as you head north in northern Sarasota County. You can see that goes right past Bee Ridge and into Fruitville Road there. So slow going on the interstate at this hour. Let's get another check on the weather with Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. 67 degrees right now. Sunshine, beautiful afternoon, albeit on the cooler side. The dew point temperature still pretty low, 37. That means our lows tonight will be unseasonably cool into the 40s for the most part for everyone. High pressure continues to dominate the weather now over much of the northeastern Gulf of Mexico with clear skies. We'll let you know about that high pressure ridge coming up today at 5.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
I'll be right back.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit helpsavethenextgirl.com and get involved.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less. and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Coming up Friday at 4, classical music meets modern rock talent in a very special performance. The string quintet Sybarite 5 performs in our studio live and talks about their recent national accolades. A former journalist turns her experience into a gripping mystery. We'll chat with Suncoast author Pat Mechanic about her new novel. Plus, this weekend's McCurdy's comedy headliner and Peak Performance Catering joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We're here with Nicole from My Delicious blog, and tell me, remind me what we're making actually at this point.
This is the leek and potato soup, and what I've been simmering it for quite some time. This couldn't be any simpler. It's 4 potatoes, 4 leeks, 4 onions, a clove of garlic, some chicken broth, and then you simmer it, and when it gets to this stage, then I add the milk and the cream and salt and pepper and mix it, and it's good to go.
How long, and is it on slow and low? Is that the approach?
It's on slow and low, so everything just gets nicely softened, and that's what makes the magic of the leeks, because they just bring out the extra sweetness when you slow roast them, or slow simmer like this. So I just added a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm putting in some milk and cream. And then I'm going to have John use the immersion blender to mix it all together.
I stand at the ready.
Yes, to mix.
And it makes it extra creamy. Keep it low.
Now, can you add onions? Can you
Keep
add
it low, just straight.
That's the low of the slow and low part.
Yeah, this is low and slow. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Now, Nicole, you were telling us this is a great time to use leeks.
Yes, because it's springtime. They're a winter vegetable, but they come due around this time of the year. And the leeks mixed with the potatoes, it's a magical combination. It's very mild, it's a little sweet. It's just a delicious soup.
I love leeks.
And then you mix it with a little bit of bacon on the top, and really everything's better with bacon.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
it smells so good.
so keep mixing. I'm going to get an Irish soda bread.
Oh, sorry. It only we need a splash guard for those.
I know. Keep it low. Keep it low.
And so this is an Irish soda bread.
Yes. All right, that's good. Nice job.
That's a good question.
Nice
John, of course, did a great job. Is it just a matter of, taste if you mix it completely? Do you like it a little chunky? How much mixing do you do for
I think it's on personal preference.
Okay.
I like mine with a little bit of chunks in there just so I know what's in there.
That's right.
But you could make it extra creamy. Just keep blending. And if you don't have an immersion blender, you could use a plain old potato masher. You can put small batches in a food processor.
Oh, okay.
Just anything to bring everything together. It's
Now,
just,
did you make this
Yeah,
as well?
let's talk
I
the bread.
did. This is a very basic soda bread recipe. Any recipe you can find online will work. But oh yeah. But I did, and then I put some cheddar cheese and some fresh rosemary in it.
We can smell the rosemary, and that's what the yellow.
That makes it even
warm.
better.
Oh, it's warm.
Yes, and it's a nice complement to this soup. So it's perfect for this chilly weather we're having.
I don't think we can wait much longer.
Right,
So
I guess we should start
Sheba would
spooning
please
it
do
out.
us the honors.
Yeah.
Nicole, remind us a little bit. My Delicious blog. I know it's a very popular blog here on the Suncoast. What can we find on there?
Well, I think I would say a good 50% of what's on there is fresh seafood. My husband and I fish quite a bit, so there's a lot of recipes on there using Gulf Coast seafood, but there's a lot of fresh produce highlighted on the blog. What's been growing locally, what's tasty, what's in season. So there's a lot of salads and sides, and there's even some New England influences because that's where I'm from. So there's just a variety of things on there, but it's all about cooking whole, fresh food.
I love it.
That's
So
what
I
Thank
like.
you.
It's fantastic.
My favorite
delicious
fish?
blog.
There's so many, but I really love American red snapper.
Oh, snapper's awesome.
Good
And
choice.
unfortunately, it's always out of season.
Well, you can find more recipes at My Delicious Blog. Of course, you can find this recipe on mysuncoast.com on our dining page. Well, thank you very much, John and Linda. It's
Yes.
a pleasure to
Thank
have
you.
you both here.
Quite a
This
pleasure.
is wonderful, by the way.
Sheba, great to
Glad
have
you
you.
liked it.
Wonderful to
Love
be
having you here. And Nicole, thanks again. This is a great soup to keep us a little warm. If you would mind passing the bread. All right, we're going to indulge in some potato leek soup.
And here we go.
You take some time.
I am
Enjoy
not
the
even
Suncoast view.